back with another One Piece Dream Porter video. I wanted to wait until we had a new character in the game, and with Poa arriving to Dream Porter, there's no better time than now. So the first character we're talking about is Crocodile, the 5-star everyone gets for free. Now I would say Croc is an S tier character. He has an AoE that does guard break on the whole enemy team, and he has a strong single target attack that also does poison. So both of his attacks are really good. His ult is a powerful AoE that does an attack down on all enemies, so that's really good as well. I think his kit is actually pretty good, and that's why I'll put him in S tier. For both PvE content and PvP, he helps you a lot. The next character we're talking about is Kid. Now I think Kid is one of the best characters in the game, hands down. His first move is a strong attack that has a chance to stun, and his second skill steals ult charge, which is really good. It's great for both PvP and PvE, and both of his attacks give him layers of magnetism. Now these layers of magnetism really help his attack power and his defense power, so it makes him stay on the field for a long time. I think Kid is one of the best characters in the game, and if you don't have him, I would highly recommend getting him. Next, we're going to talk about Vivi. Now Vivi, I think is also an S tier unit, but here's the catch. I think in PvP, she's more of a A tier unit, but in PvE, she is an S tier unit. She is one of the best units to use in PvE content. Her first skill does an attack down on the enemy. Her second skill lets you make a card up to gold and has a chance to take 2 cards up to gold. So good. She's one of the best PvE units in the game. She is so good for that content, for taking on bosses. Really good in a lot of content, and one of my favorite units in the game. Now next, we got my boy Apu. So here's the catch. I think Apu in the right team formation is one of the best units in the game. Now the team formation you need to use with him is burn characters. If you use him on the burn team, he does crazy damage, and he lets your burn units do crazy damage, like Ace. Ace and Apu do crazy damage together. So that's why right now he's really solid. If you have Ace or a burn character, then he's really good. But if you don't have someone like Ace, then I would say he's an A tier unit. But his kit is pretty cool. He has this thing where he can increase his attack power by how many burn is on the enemy team. So he's a really good unit. I really like his kit, but he just needs a burn team. Now the next character we got is Gang Beige Capone. Man, I love this character. I truly think he is an S tier character. A lot of these characters in this game are just really good. Beige, for example, he can not only increase the defense of your team, also he can redirect attacks to a different character. This guy is so crazy. On top of that, he can also do taunt on the enemy team, so that's really good as well. He has a lot of things going for him in his kit, and I see him as a tanky character. He's just that guy you put on your team that helps your AoE units survive, so he's a really good unit. Now the next character we're talking about is Hawkins. Now Hawkins I think is also an S tier character, and Hawkins might honestly be like better than all these guys. Maybe not Kid, maybe. I haven't tried Hawkins, but from what I've seen, he is a crazy character. This guy can give you crazy hand draw. Not just that, he can give your team heals. Not just that, he can give your team another card to play. Not just that, he can also give your team shields. Like, this guy's kit is insane. Now the downside of his kit is that it's a lot of RNG in play. Yeah, there's things you can do to limit the RNG by getting your cards to gold, but mostly this guy has a lot of RNG. But overall, I think he's a really strong character, and if you know what you're doing, then he could be really powerful. Hold a minute, I had to go ahead and add another tier because he honestly belongs there. I think this character is the best character, hands down in the game. He is so good. His kit is basically all AoE, but he hits so hard. And if you put the right units around him, he can clear enemy squads by himself. He is so good. I think he is easily best character in the game. I really want Ace. I'm really hoping I hit him on my next pity, and I really cannot wait to get this guy because he is so good. He just has really good AoE, and that makes him so good right now in this meta. The two banners we started off with was New World Zoro and New World Sanji. Now we're gonna start with New World Zoro. I think New World Zoro is also an S tier character. Now there's positives and there's also negatives about his kit. The positive, he does crazy damage, and his ult damage is one of the highest in the game, pure damage wise. The negatives is that he is just too frail. He takes hits way too hard. He dies way too easily. Even when you're going against red units that do half damage towards him, he still just dies too easily. That's why I think if he wasn't so frail, I think he probably would have been one of the best single target characters in the game. But one thing I don't know a lot of people have noticed is that if you use his silver cards for both of his skills, it actually gives you another turn. So instead of having 4 cards to play that turn, you would have 5 cards. This is not a thing that happens every time, but I noticed that it does happen quite often if your cards are silver or above for Zoro. So that's really cool. You can find ways to get in an extra attack in PvP and help you win games. So that's why I think he's a really good unit to bring in PvP, but he's just way too frail, so you gotta be careful playing with him. Now we got Zoro's best friend, Sanji. I think New World Sanji is one of the best characters in the game. He has really great defense, and as he does more moves throughout the battle, he just becomes tankier and tankier and tankier. He's kind of the opposite of Zoro. One is blue, Sanji is yellow, and he's a really cool unit to also put on the burn team because he burns as well. So I think he's a really cool unit to have. He's one of the only 5-star units to have pursuit on his build, which basically means that he's able to do a free attack. So he's a really good character. I think he's one of the best, and I really enjoy playing with him. We got New World Luffy. New World Luffy, I think, is also an S tier character. New World Luffy does crazy damage. This guy's first skill, AoE, and lowers the opponent's defense. His other attack puts revenge marks on the enemy that allows him to do way more damage with his ult and his moves. He also ignores defense, so he's a really good unit to have. I think he's one of the best, and I really enjoy using him. Now we have the newest character in the game, Boa Hancock. Man, I don't know if I want to put her in God tier or if I want to put her in S tier. For now, I'm gonna place her in S tier just because she only has 1 AoE, but her AoE is literally the best AoE in the entire game. It has a crazy high chance of stunning, but it also comes back super quick. If you guys notice, there are certain characters in the game that have a 4 circle meter for their ult. So some characters have a 4 circle meter, some characters have a 5 circle meter. She has a 4 circle meter. That means she gets her ult super quick. Her ult petrifies, also one of her skills petrifies as well. If you pair her with Revenge Mark Luffy, New World Luffy, one of her skills puts Revenge Mark on the enemy. And hear me out, if you had a team consisting of Ace, Luffy, and Boa, if Ace died, Luffy comes in with way more attack, and Boa's going to be putting those revenge marks on the enemy team. So Luffy comes out of the back line, comes to the front line, does crazy damage. They pair really well together, and if you can round out that team with some other burn units, I think you're really cooking. So let me just organize this by how I think S looks like. I think Boa is the best character in S. I think after that is probably New World Luffy. I think after that is probably Kid, and then the combination of Sanji and Zoro, and then I think it's Hawkins, and then Crocodile, and then Vivi, and then Beige, and then Apu last. But don't forget, if you have a burnt team, Apu instantly becomes an S tier unit. So pretty much a lot of the characters are good, but who you want to be looking for right now is probably Ace. That's the one character you really want to have. If you have Ace in your account, it makes a complete difference in PvP and PvE, and what I think is the best unit in the game. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and this is Gacha Baka signing out. If you are interested in more One Piece Dream Corner content, watch this video right here where I talk about every 5 stars kit. Or if you're wondering about the upcoming character leaks, then watch this video over here.